Good morning.
Good morning, Lisa. Beautiful day.
It is. It's truly wonderful outside.
Spring is here,
Yes.
and spring is rejuvenation,
Yes.
new ideas, new food plans,
Yes.
diet, live it, I call it. And we're just all in an excellent frame of mind to create a fertile environment in our lives
Yes.
for everything that we desire to come. And
Absolutely.
we're in the business of helping make babies and build families, and it is a struggle.
Yes.
But when you put your frame of mind and the thoughts that it's all possible, and you do the work and you share the ideas, that's what we're here to do.
Absolutely. Anything is a possibility. There's no reason why we can't take a new step in a new direction and try something out. It might not work, it might work, but we will never know unless we try. And I think so many of our clients are seeing that, especially with our new diet changes, with our new way of thoughts in regards to just pulling back a little bit. Let's start with the basics. And if we really think about wanting to give that beautiful growing baby a warm, healthy environment, and really starting from that basis, it makes sense to work on our diet a few months before we're trying to conceive. Don't just start that good pregnancy diet or whatever diet you're going to do the moment you find out you're pregnant. You've already been pregnant.
Well,
let's start earlier.
Imagine that which you desire as if it already is, and do or do not there be no try, Master Yoda, as we know. And we're all human beings, doctors, nurses, whatever you do in life. We don't have the lock on knowledge, by the way. It's out there. And if what you're doing isn't working, do something else. I was just talking to a client about ketogenesis and a new food plan. I'm convinced that carbohydrates are a poison.
Yes.
We're meant to eat them like cocaine for survival, but ultimately it has harm to us, more so than we get. And the ketogenic diet is a very high-fat, healthy fats. Guess what? Bacon, eggs, butter, beef, coconut oil, okay, a little bit of avocado, but it's way opposite that any of us have ever been taught.
Yes.
And one of our clients only delivers a baby in ketosis. Miscarriage, infertility, miscarriage.
Yeah.
And so it's one of the hardest ideas to get because we physicians were never taught about food. Well, I'm going to tell you, the teaching of food is generally wrong, in my opinion. We know nothing. We're making it all up. The studies are very inaccurate, and not there's a conspiracy against any of these ideas, but I think we're all biased. And so my idea that I've learned from many others about ketogenesis is when you can allow your body to use the premium fuel, the fat, the mitochondria are like happy as can be. Inflammation goes down, and voila, amazing things happen. And Maria Emmerich in ketogenic adaptation, Jimmy Moore, and there's so many out there. But remember, we're all telling a story that's sometimes hard to find the right one. But you got to change what you're doing, and we'll have the conversation. And if what you're doing isn't working, maybe you got to shift it a little bit more.
Yes.
But isn't it amazing how our habits drive us to eat things that are harmful for us?
Yes.
But we're going to have the conversation, continue to talk about how fertile, fatty foods first are the critical part to this. And it's not just low carbs, it's high fertile fats. Simple. And we talk about grass-fed. I don't know which way it all really matters, but eating the fat is critical.
Absolutely. Anecdotally, it's interesting hearing from other moms who might be concerned about going into ketosis in pregnancy and staying on the diet early pregnancy, but then you hear from moms often later in pregnancy their bodies are naturally in ketosis, whether it's due to morning sickness or food aversions, the body is driving you naturally to ketosis. And it's very interesting seeing the mom say, well, my physician always tells me that I'm in ketosis at the end of pregnancy, middle of pregnancy. It must be okay.
That's, I think, very interesting because, remember, we're meant to get fat, to store fat, which is the premium fuel. And then women in early pregnancy have hyperemesis, and they have problems, and they're nauseous, and what are they shoving down their mouths?
Carbs.
They're carbs, the crackers, which actually have an adverse effect on your fetus and your environment.
Absolutely.
And I would say it says just don't eat.
Yes.
Now, obviously, there's some cases where you got to really do it, but less food in the tank may be better to allow ketosis to do natural healing process.
Yes.
Babies are parasites. Let me tell you, they're going
They
to get the fat is the fuel of the universe. Yeah. And you're going to get that other stuff in there a little bit. And be patient. Read about it. As you read and listen and talk about it more, we'll all open up to new ideas.
Absolutely.
Now, this isn't like everyone should do this. But, before you judge something as bad, you got to give it an opportunity. And at 60, I've been doing it for about 6 months now, and I haven't exercised in 5 years. I move. Meditation, yoga, massage, acupuncture, prayer. It really is critical. We have to have the conversations together that medicine, I think, doesn't know the answer in so many ways. We're very opinionated, and we're often driven by some big dollars that are the pharmaceuticals and the food industry. And not that they don't have a mission of helping also, I believe they do, but I think sometimes we're driven to shove so many things in our mouth, and our body is saying, whoa, slow it down.
Absolutely. Well, we so appreciate the conversation, and we're looking forward to continuing in April 26th at 6 p.m. We're having a wonderful Resolve Fertility Awareness Month webinar with a free IVF giveaway. So we are going to get into this a lot more, talk about diet, talk about different ways to approach your fertility, and we'll be taking questions from clients as well.
Well, we're open to the conversation, always open to emails and calls and texts. At CMY Fertility, a center of excellence, which is open to all patients, non-selective. We turn no one away. We'll take you whether you've failed other places. We'll take you whether or not you don't meet the weight criteria of some places. And it's a very interesting concept. I've seen so many patients conceive because they didn't give up. And they didn't take no. And, it's sort of like driving everyone one way or another. You got to be open. And the other area that I've been really open to is laparoscopy for endometriosis. And some recent articles are looking how endometriosis affects the inflammatory environment around the ovaries, tubes, and uterus. And guys, you got to really be in that paleo-keto diet because the sperm is being screwed up too. So we'll continue the conversation. And I really appreciate Lisa. And thank you all for listening.
Absolutely. And keep your questions coming in for the webinar. We've had a few ones already, and we totally welcome them.
God bless. Take care.